Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to look at the changing environment companies operate in, and definitely as to why it's important for these companies to keep a tab on these changes, to be on top at all times. Now first I'd like to draw some fresh examples from what's happening in the political environment. We find Tunisia and Egypt, they've gone through a phase of toppling the government. There was a social movement that was heavily coordinated through the use of Facebook and Twitter, which proved really successful. And as I speak now, the crisis is even intensifying in Libya and Syria towards toppling the government, and we can see a lot of events unfolding. As I look closely, it seems quite baffling to me as to why the governments didn't see this coming. These are huge bodies we're talking about. They have access to a huge chunk of resources. They should have seen this coming. The whole question is, why couldn't they have seen this coming? Had they seen this coming in their drawing boards, surely they would have blocked it out. Now, I'm no advocate of a political system that could last for centuries, but it seems quite baffling to me as to why they really didn't make the connection. The dots were there, they couldn't make the story, and they couldn't predict the future. Today, it draws very important lessons for top corporates. Our environments are changing, our customers are changing, the nature in which we operate should change because we need to keep up with changing times. It's as simple as that. But the industry experts don't seem to find the right dots to connect and make a story about where the industry is heading towards to. Right? It's a perfect example here with Apple and Nokia, and a perfect exhibition of discontinuous innovation. Nokia was so obsessed with its product that it wanted to extend the width of its screen, play around with the width of its screen, infuse style and elegance into its product. But Apple was busy connecting the dots to figure out where the future of the industry is going to head towards to. And they were quite successful in arriving at the thought of digital convergence. They said, hey, listen, the next best product will be a watch, a mobile phone, that is, having a watch, having the ability to play video. You give access to a range of songs produced globally through the Apple platform, the software, the iTunes, and all of it started rolling out, right? And Apple not only landed on a touchscreen concept, they also went that extra mile and said, hey, listen, we have something called the ecosystem. They attracted app developers into their ecosystem, which also forced the CEO of Nokia to write a memo to his staff titled On a Burning Platform, in which he clearly quoted that Apple is not only taking their market share, but also taking the whole ecosystem away. Now, this is a sheer exhibition of discontinuous innovation. You have a perfect differentiation here between adding value and creating value. Nokia was adding value, but if you look at Apple, they were creating value to the industry. They changed the dynamics of the industry, and they made this change. Now, this change didn't just happen. There are companies out there wanting to buy into this. They want to buy into the success stories of Apple. They want to infuse creativity in their organizations. Now, remember, creativity, innovation, this is quite interchangeable, the word. They use it quite often. It becomes a buzzword and it starts rolling out. Companies are now figuring out, okay, that they need to set a good structure in their internal environment to bring out the creative ideas from their staff. Right? But they can't do this overnight. They have to do this over time. They've got to look at the wider environment. Now, if they believe creativity is something that's going to infuse competitive advantage in their products, in their whole systems of operation, then they need to start from scratch. They have to set the right conditions around. Okay? So how do you create a system that consistently gives you new ideas, innovative ideas? There are so many things that you have to do. One such element you need to focus on is your HR department. Now, this is about getting all the actors to get into the story of ensuring creativity within the organization. HR department needs to take ownership of hiring the right people. Today we find HR hiring people based on skills alone, which should not be the ideal thing. HR should be hiring people based on values and skill. Values of integrity, values of giving value for money for the organization, excuse me, for the organization that is paying him or her the salary. And you need to hire employees with passion. Now, these are all values. But instead, we find people hunting for skills. He's going to be super good at this job because he has the necessary skill set, but we don't have the necessary tests to find out whether the right values are instilled in that person. So it all starts from there. Why am I emphasizing so much on value-based hiring? Is because of a very simple reason. Value-based hiring is where people will not be asked to, well, that's about it.